The WNBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. You can win up 325 times your entry with their new Pick 8. Sign up with promo code NBA SGPN. Claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code NBA SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Best data-driven props and picks from Rhythm. Claim your 7-day free trial by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Yes, sir. We are back with another edition of the WNBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Know me, know the voice of the guy. It's me, Really Row, Villain Row, Terrell Furman Jr. here at your service. It's time for the best sound drop. Here we go. It's great to hear that. It's great to come back. Oh, there we go. It's great to come back from a long weekend and you just get to hear that drop and just hear and know that it was a great time the episode before. Well, go ahead and cash the Sun Storm under 157.5. It wasn't even close. They didn't even give us a sweat. We had nothing to worry about. Candy Carter, however, was sitting on 18 for a long time. Very, very long time she was sitting on 18, but she got the 20 plus 215 there. Nice cash on the dog. And then my co-host, Scott Studio Reichel. Scott, what's going on?
Scotty, beam me up.
Surprise.
Yeah, doing well. Didn't sweep, but I did hit the dog. Unfortunately, I did go with the under in the Liberty game instead. Should have just did a co-lock with you. Either way, though, point is, did hit the parlay in the Fever game. I feel like we cleaned up with that Fever Sky game because I had Boston 15-plus points with Angel Reese 12-plus rebounds, and Reese gets, 15 rebounds every game at this point. That was really never in doubt, plus 197, so we'll take it. Still a profitable episode. Didn't get the sweep, and the lock streak is over, but at least the dog got there.
Yeah, hey, it was a glorious streak. It was a great streak. And when one streak ends, that just means another begins. And, well, we don't have a streak of games to talk about today, but we have one really big game. I mean, it's $500,000 on the line. And we've got the Lynx and the Liberty. We're going to talk about it in just a second. But before we do that, we had to go ahead and talk to you about check out the Sports Gambling Podcast. Hey, the mothership Sports Gambling Podcast, they've started their top 10 fantasy football preview series. They did the QBs and the tight end episodes. Those are all live right now. You can go check it out at Sports Gambling Podcast or youtube.com/Sports Gambling Podcast. So make sure you check out the Sports Gambling Podcast because it's never too early for the National Football League. All right. Commissioner's Cup. Liberty won the title last year over the Aces. This is Minnesota's first time in the Commissioner's Cup final. Minnesota Lynx on the road going to play the New York Liberty. You must remember this game does not count for the season record. So this is just an additional game that these two teams are playing that was built into the schedule, but this game does not count on either of their totals for the season. Liberty opened up laying 5, currently laying 5.5, 162.5 is the total there. Injury report for these two teams, and I am seeing, hold on, well, that's the wrong button. There we go. All right, for the Minnesota Lynx, it looks like they have Diamond Miller still out. Nair Sabally is out. I don't think they're, let me double check another source, make sure there's no update on Laney. Vandersloot, I believe, is questionable. Yeah, Diamond Miller is doubtful. Nair Sabally is out. Anaja Laney is questionable. Courtney Vandersloot is questionable.
I'll let you go first on this one. I want to correct you on something, by the way. You said it's a home game for the Liberty. It's not. It's a neutral site game in New York. They
What?
moved the game.
So
There was a
where?
scheduling conflict with the Barclays Center, so they moved it to the Islanders Arena. It's in UBS Arena.
Oh, okay. But that's technically. But I mean, that's technically. It wasn't not supposed to be in Barclays though.
It was. I'm saying that it's no longer in Barclays, so technically, even though it's scheduled as a home game, it's not in the usual home arena for the Liberty. The
Oh,
Liberty were
okay.
pissed, by the way, because they were annoyed because they wanted it to be rescheduled or they wanted something to change because there's a scheduling conflict, and the WNBA said no. So they're playing it in a last-second pivot from location, and now they're going to be in Elmont instead of being in Brooklyn.
Oh,
So,
okay. I didn't know that. Where's Elmont?
it's right by It's right by Belmont Park, so it's like Queens area.
Oh, okay. All right. The more you know. I actually did not. I missed that completely. So, okay. I really want to fade the Liberty.
Oh, I'm saying if you do, it's not a home game anymore, technically. Of course, the crowd will still be mostly Liberty fans because it's in New York, but it's not their home arena if you do want to fade them.
I mean, is that not like Georgia playing in Atlanta? It's like.
Well, Georgia also loses a decent amount of those games over the years. So I don't know if that's a good example. But
Well, depending on what side I'm on. So, okay, so here's my issue. Here's my issue here, and it's the fact that the narrative is saying that Minnesota is going to go all out for this game. This is a mostly veteran led team. These aren't a bunch of players that have like all these other outside deals or all this other influx of cash. So I feel like you're getting like the complete best effort out of the Minnesota Lynx. And my question here is their defense enough to be able to stop the scoring of the starters for the Lynx? Like, are they going to be able to hold a Jacquel Jones, Brianna Stewart, and Sabrina Ionescu in check? Because if you hold two, I think you're guaranteed because you're not getting anything from the bench. Like
well, we
we
saw
just
them do
talked
it
about
once
it.
already. I mean, they dominated that game at home. They blew them out on 2 separate occasions in the same game. They were up like
Yeah.
20 in the second quarter, then blew it in the third quarter, and then still won by about 20. So I know Minnesota can do it. The question is, do you believe that first meeting was a fluke, or is that a potential sign of things to come? I feel like that's the main discussion right now. So what do you think?
It feels like this is a better Liberty team than that team, though.
Yeah, it does.
If it like Sabrina was 5 for 14, 13 points in that game, 1 assist. She's playing on another level than that now. But that also adds into the fact of if Courtney Vandersloot goes back into this lineup and Sabrina, thus because she's in the lineup, you have to put the ball in her hands at some point, or it's like, why else do you have her out there? And then that takes away from Sabrina. And if you're telling me that I'm not getting Sabrina of what she's been playing at right now, I'm taking the Lynx right now.
So just to make sure you are going with the Lynx in the end.
I don't still deciding. Think
Okay.
I am. I think I am. I'm not 100% there. It's just the revenge spot seems like it's there for the Liberty, and that's really what's killing me. It's like the revenge spot's there, and the Liberty are clearly like this is the best the Liberty have played all season.
It has been. Then again, you look at who they've played against, and you could argue that they haven't exactly played great competition because they played Phoenix on the road. Yes, it was on the road. They still lost that game. How many
Mm-hmm.
good opponents have they played recently? If you were just going to name them, they beat the Aces. They beat the Sun a couple weeks ago or a month ago. But the recent stretch has been what against the Sparks twice, and you're going down the line.
The
Have they played
Dream.
many? Have they played many good teams recently?
Yeah,
I feel
they
like
haven't.
that's
It's
kind of
just the Mercury.
yeah,
I
it's kind
mean,
of my
if you look
point.
at the last few games, it's just that Mercury and that Aces game. But then you had the Mystics. Of course, you handle business against the Sun. You had the Dream again, Sky, the Fever. Yeah, you have a point.
So that's why I'm wondering if they're actually playing better because they figured it out or because the schedule just broke right for them. And now they're kind of, going up against a better opponent. They haven't exactly been, I'd say, thriving against the season. They've done okay against good teams. I'm not trying to dismiss them, but I think the best form right now might have to do with facing the Sparks twice and the Dream. And we also saw that they have been playing a bunch of games recently because they played the Dream on Sunday, didn't rest anybody, had a back-to-back the previous couple days against the Sparks. So they've been playing a bunch of games. You could argue fatigue might be an issue for this team, but who knows? So there are some variables to not exactly like about the Liberty in this game if you are potentially leaning to the Lynx.
But it's the thing: are the Lynx going to be able to score?
I mean, do you think the Liberty are a good defensive team? I know that they can be, but we've seen them have some defensive stretches where they leave a lot to be desired. So I don't know how good this Liberty defense actually is. I think their ceiling is high. I just don't know how consistent they're going to be with that ceiling, because we've seen them take
Yeah.
their foot off the gas a lot at various stretches of games. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, no, and especially if I don't think they have an opportunity to take their foot off the gas in this game. I think Minnesota's going to give them a game, and that's the concerning thing. If this is a game all the way, is Minnesota going to be able to, like, that same Mercury team? Minnesota scored 73. Now, granted, they played amazing defense, but like, if this becomes this has to stay a low scoring game for Minnesota to win. If I'm picking Minnesota, I'm just going to say that they make it a defensive game and they end up winning a barn burner. Because if the Mercury, not the Mercury, but if the Liberty end up scoring, I don't see how Minnesota keeps up. I don't think the offense is there against a Mercury, not Mercury. I keep saying Mercury. I'm because I'm looking at the Mercury box score right now between that Lynx game. But that Liberty team, I just don't. If that Liberty team is able to score, I don't think the Lynx can keep up with that level of offense.
Yeah, I think we're on the same page in terms of the overall a script for Minnesota to win. I like
It
the
has to
under
be
in
a
the game.
defensive game.
I mean, I like the under in the game anyway. You're playing it in a
Yeah.
random last minute neutral site spot, and of course you got 500K on the line. So I like the under anyway in this game. So I am going to lean to
Nobody's ever
Minnesota.
played. I don't think any of them ever shot in that gym before.
I would doubt it, because the building's only been around for like a year or two. So there'd be no reason for them to actually enter that building
Do
unless
they
they were going to
even?
an Islanders
Yeah.
game.
Wait. So that's purely the Rangers. That's all they
That's
do in there. It's just hockey.
it's the Islanders hockey thing. I think St. John's might have played a game or two in the college season in Elmont. I know the Islanders never played there, and I know that the uh, Knicks never played there. But I
They're
do know
not even
St.
going to
John's
adjust
did
the
play.
rims right.
Probably not. St. John's did play a couple games there. I don't know the over-unders for those, but the point is a last-minute venue swap, neutral site, and the Liberty have also been playing a bunch of games recently. I do like the under in the game.
Yeah. If this goes under, I think it's Lynx. There we go.
So I think we
Lynx.
agree. I think we're leaning Lynx in the under.
Yeah. Lynx +5. And everybody swore up and down the Aces was going to repeat last year, and the Liberty beat them.
Liberty, didn't they kill them last year
Yeah.
in this game? They won comfortably, I think.
I thought, is that game? I think it was like by 10.
Well, there were two games. They killed them in New York by like 40, but the game
Oh, I was
before
at that
that,
game. No, yeah,
that
I
was
was
that
at
was a
that
murder.
game.
But
Yeah,
I'm
that
pretty
was a
sure the
great
Liberty
game.
won that game comfortably last year. I don't know if it was double digits or not, but I know the Liberty led for most of the way. But
All right. It looks like people are betting on Liberty and over too. So complete opposite of where we're at.
well, you expect the public to bet on the Liberty because
Yeah,
they won last
100%.
year, and they're the Liberty viewed as the second best team in the league according to most betting markets, etc. So yeah, the Liberty are in good form, but I think it's a really bad scheduling spot, and the venue switch didn't do them any favors.
Okay. I don't think I have anything else here. All right. We'll get to player props in just a second there. But before we do, got to talk about Underdog Fantasy, because that's the best place to go play your favorite WNBA players, and you can play them on the points, rebounds, assists. You can create up to 8 entries with their automatic double flex entries, where you get an 8-pick entry, and then it's double flex where you can lose 2 picks and still win your entry. You can win up to 325 times your original amount. So make sure you tap in with Underdog Fantasy. Promo code NBA SGPN. Claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com. Promo code NBA SGPN. We're also brought to you by Circa Survivor and Circa Millions, because they're giving away $16 million in guaranteed prizes. There's no rake. And guess what? Circa Millions, you pick 5 NFL teams, ATS, each week for a chance to win $6 million. And, or I say and because you might as well do both. But you can also play Survivor survive the NFL gauntlet, and claim $10 million at the end, or a share, if there's other people. Shout out to the guy who said that he didn't want to share. He didn't want to share the millions, and then he ended up losing the next week, I think, in Survivor. And then the other
Yep.
people shared without him. So I like that kind of group economics. Hey, let's all walk out of here with $1 million, and then we'll fight it out for $2-3 million, whatever the rest of it was. And you can play this super easy because all you have to do is sign up in person at Circus Sports between now and September 7th and use a proxy to play from anywhere. We even got a deal with footballcontestproxy.com. That is footballcontestproxy.com. And they'll save you $50 with our promo code SGP. And if you don't have a trip for Vegas booked yet, well, the Ultimate Contest weekend is a great time to go out there and hang out with Sean and Ryan and enjoy a whole bunch of, some open bar events at the greatest sports book in the world, circa August 22nd through the 24th. All right. Player props. This is tough because we think the game's going under. So you don't want to get too pass happy with a bunch of points props.
Well, I think we're leaning rebound props then, right? I mean, we saw Jonquel, remember, at a rebound last game. Killed the Sparks on the inside. Do you think she just has another game like that? Or is she in foul trouble? Because the first meeting this season, I'm pretty sure she was in foul trouble basically the entire way.
Yep. And I mean, Base Collier do that. Alana Smith has been scoring a lot recently as well, and especially around the rim. And I think that's going to be a challenge for John Cole. Just make sure she stays solid there and not giving up those points. I think I'm going back. I think if I'm going back to somebody, I'm probably going back to Kayla McBride.
Okay. Threes?
And
Points?
huh?
Threes, points?
Yeah. Probably the threes. I think I prefer the threes. But she also gets to the line a very decent amount, so I might. But I'm going to go ahead and lean the threes, and it's basically because, and I'm watching for the status of Benaja Laney Hamilton, because if she's not playing in this game, actually, like that's really, really going to hurt the Liberty's chances if she doesn't play, just because of how good of an individual defender she is. And I think that's the assignment that she would take on, is the Caleb McBride's assignment, because McBride's been so good from three, so good outside. So hey, if Caleb McBride, if Najalani Hamilton's not playing in this game, and that opens things up for Caleb, and that opens it up for Caleb McBride, she gets a little bit less of a matchup. I think she's going to kill it. So that's somebody that I'm looking to get behind. I'm not getting there yet. I'm not saying I'm there yet. I'm waiting on the Laney Hamilton thing. If she doesn't go, because questionable is actually questionable in WNBA. If she doesn't go, I'm going all in on McBride props. So that's just something to look out for on the horizon.
Yeah, I think if I was going to go for a pretty niche prop that I do like quite a bit, I don't mind Jonquel under 4.5 points in the first quarter. I'm not used to seeing first quarter lines, but apparently we have them for this game. She has gone under this number in 3 of the last 4. She had 5 the last game against the Dream. She's usually playing around 7-8 minutes or so in the first quarter. But Minnesota's done a great job of actually containing her early in games. She's had less than 3 first quarter points in each of the last 4 meetings. She had 2 in the first meeting, and her line's 4.5 at -108. So based on head-to-head numbers and based on what we think should be a defensive slugfest, I don't mind Jonquel under 4.5 points in the first quarter at -108. So
I still like Nafisa Collier rebounds.
Okay. What's
And
that
I think
number
the good thing for her is that when they bring Dorka in the game, like it's a lot of her just kind of neutralizing the biggest big on the floor, and then Nafisa Collier cleans up on the rebound. So her rebound prop been pretty good. Let's see where her numbers at for this game. Is it at 10.5?
Let me see if I can
8.5.
Collier. Yeah, that is pretty low.
8.5. She had, what was that? 11? No, 12 in the first matchup. Had 12 in the first matchup this season. Past few games, Nafisa Collier's had 14 against Phoenix, and then a little bit of a dry spell. 8, 7, 6, 6, 14 Seattle, 14, and 12 against Phoenix again. I think that this is one of those spots where she just kind of they use the bigs that they have to neutralize Jocko Jones and neutralize the other threats, and she just kind of gets a lot of easy rebounds around the rim. And then I think that she's going to be active on the offensive glass as well, and just challenging the Liberty on the inside of scoring. I think rebounds is a play. I think points and rebounds is a play. I like a big Nafisa Collier game in a game she's got to step up in. This is the Commissioner's Cup final. We're taking this game really serious, and you're the best player on the other team, so you got to step up.
I do want to ask you, since there is so much on the line, are you expecting all of the starters, either from the Liberty or from the Lynx, to play basically like 35 plus minutes? Like, is there a chance Collier plays all 40?
I think it's close. I mean, she's played 40 minutes once before this season, and she's gotten over it in the 2 overtime games that they played. She had 37 last game. Well, 3 of the last 4, she's had 36 plus. So yeah, like just minutes overall. Like I think she's clearly in for 35 plus minutes tonight. Well, tomorrow night.
I think she should be too. So that's kind of why I like her overs as well.
All right. Let's see. Courtney Williams rebounds. I'm playing that for certain. There's no way I'm letting a championship game of any type go through, and I'm not playing Courtney Williams rebounds. And they're back down to 4.5. I mean, this is the best rebounding guard in the league. Like they just hit. They always hit. She always has a knack for finding around the rim. She's averaging 5.2 rebounds this season. Look at the past few games. I actually don't know why this is at 4.5. She's had 9, 1, 3, 8, 4, 4, 6, 6, 5. So she's only missed this 4 out of the 10 games.
Okay.
Yeah. It's another.
I mean, it is a low number.
Every time she dips under 4.5, she hits. It's when they start trying to move her up to 6.5 because she got hot, and that's when it starts to go back down. 4.5 is the dip. That's where we buy back in. I'm gonna play that. What else here? Anything else? Let's talk about Brianna. Let's talk about Stewie, because Stewie feels like she's like one of the hardest players to handicap.
Yeah, I mean, recently her assists have been good at 3.5. She's had at least 5 assists in 4 straight, and her line's at 3.5 at minus 128 on the over. The concern is though the Lynx are allowing the fewest assists per game in the entire league, but in the first meet in the season she did have 5, so I don't mind Stewie assists in this game at 3.5.
I think that makes me feel good about a PRA play on her, because even though her points are decently there, she does constantly make contributions around the glass. You said the assist numbers are up first, so maybe it's a better look at her points, rebounds, and assists.
Yeah, could be. I'm just saying the assists have been solid recently.
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, like, yeah, good look at the assists, and you might be able to add a points, rebounds, and assist play as well. If you don't just feel good about, because I for one don't feel good anymore about playing her points. I feel like you're gonna get one crazy game from her and then a bunch of nothing. Like that's what it feels like.
I'll read off the last couple of games for Brianna. So the last 10 games: 17, 33, 17, 28, 14, 14, 13, 25, 33, 13. So you have no idea.
Like what? Like what is that? What am I supposed to do with that?
The rebounds, by the way,
you're leading us.
She's had less than 9 rebounds in 4 straight. Less than 8 rebounds in 5 of the last 7. So the rebounds have not been great. It's at 9.5. So I actually kind of lean to the under on the rebounds for Stewie, but I prefer the assists. And you mentioned the points being a crapshoot, but the assists have been fine. The rebounds have not been that great. So something to just keep in mind. So
Sabrina's the only thing on this. Literally, yeah, Sabrina's the only thing on the Liberty that I feel any confidence in right now.
Her assists are at 6.5. The over's plus 104.
Okay, that might be a little bit much.
So, just throwing out different options.
If they stop Sabrina, the Lynx are winning this game.
Yeah. Well, are you saying stop as in how? You mean scoring, assisting, all the above? Like, what does that imply?
Playmaking. Like if Sabrina Ionescu doesn't have a good game, they're winning this easily. Because it's just like there's nothing else going. Like Stewie's been lackluster. Jonquil's got to stay out of foul trouble in this one. And then it's not like they have a bench that's going to just give you maybe Phoebich. Phoebich had a good game last game, but like, wow, I'm feeling better about Minnesota +5, like by the minute.
Yeah, I don't want to lay 5.5 with the Liberty in a neutral, even though I know it's not really a neutral, but you know what I mean. This game really is just, I'd say, unpredictable based on looking
Mhm.
at it. I don't see one definitive script. I don't see the Liberty just automatically going up by a bunch and covering and winning their second straight Commissioner's Cup title. I think Minnesota can hang in there. The team's been really good. They're good defensively. I think they have the potential bodies to throw at Ionescu to keep her off balance. They're a solid team. And I think that 5.5 is a few too many, in my opinion. The Liberty can still win the game, but we know that if they are going to get maybe even into foul trouble in this game, they don't have a bench. And that is a serious problem. So if we think the Lynx are going to force John Quell into foul trouble, force somebody into maybe an off game, the Liberty don't have many backup options with bench players that can come in and just swing an entire game. They just don't have that. So I think the Lynx are pretty well built, actually, to at least give the Liberty some problems. And we saw that in the first meeting of the season.
You know, if I play them anywhere, I need to go back and check the numbers and make sure I'm not tripping. But if I were to play the Liberty anywhere, I think I would play them early.
Okay. Like first
Because,
quarter, first half, all the above.
yeah, maybe first quarter. I would love to see. I'd have to dig deeper for first quarter number. I only have first half numbers. But I just know that when I've been playing this Lynx team, that it's just been a lot of lackluster performance in the first half of games.
Mm.
Now, Minnesota is 6-1 as a dog in the first half. So that could be just the fact of, A, we bet this team as a dog and we don't take them as big favorites. Or at least in the first half. But it looks like they're showing up. So let's throw that out. 6-1 as a dog. I'm not fading that. I was going to talk myself into a Liberty first half, but especially with how the Liberty play in the second quarter of games, this actually makes me really prefer to lean Minnesota there. So, all right, I'm not going to do that. It was great to talk that out, though.
Is there anything else you want to talk out, or should we just wrap it up?
Mm,
I feel like we were pretty thorough on this
I feel
stuff.
like why don't I feel better about Minnesota? Everything kind of screams Minnesota to me. Why don't I feel good about this?
I think it's because the Liberty have been there before. It's a specific type of pressure that the Liberty are accustomed to, as opposed to the
Mhm,
Lynx. Because the Liberty not only won it last year, they also made the finals, and the
mhm.
Lynx just haven't really had that type of success. So maybe it's an experience thing that's kind of keeping you fully afraid of, or not fully afraid, but partially afraid of committing to the Lynx. Is that an experience angle that you're kind of just going back
Mm,
to with the Liberty?
possibly.
So,
Possibly.
but
Interesting.
I would have considered the Liberty if the game was actually at home. But the fact that you're throwing in a new arena that nobody has experience with, I think is just a variable that I can't toss out. I think that stuff matters. So, yeah, I'm on Minnesota in the under.
I think that under is going to have to be it. We'll talk about it after coming out of this rhythm. WNBA features, they have custom AI betting models in seconds that can give you recommendations on, hey, you should take this play or you should take that play. You can create the models yourself or you can use their AI and tap in and get some rhythm picks. And let's go ahead and see what Rhythm has to say about this game on the schedule. Let's see. Rhythm has
I'm gonna guess the under, and they have. I'm gonna say they have the Liberty. If I had to guess,
you said under and Liberty.
that's what I'm thinking. Rhythm's gonna have.
Rhythm has the over
Okay, never mind. 0 for 1.
and they have the Lynx.
0 for 2. Okay, cool. All right.
Well, we're on the Lynx, so it's not over.
No, I meant
But
my
they're on
guess
Lynx
on what
plus.
they would have. Yeah.
They have Lynx +5. They think it's closer to a one possession game. They have Lynx +1.5, and they have a lot of points actually. They have 167.7. So interesting there. We will battle you on the over rhythm, but we're on the same side. Lynx push 5. Just got to do it. All right. Make sure you get a 7-day free trial at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Lock, dog, underdog. For my lock.
I feel like the under is the leader in the clubhouse. Maybe.
So now I'm just trying to think of how can I get screwed on taking this under.
I mean, the same way that I got screwed in the under against the Dream, I guess, is that the Liberty just shoot the lights out and the pace is there and it just goes over. But there are a lot of reasons. I think that there are a lot more reasons to like the under than the over in this game. That's how I would phrase it.
Yeah, I'm just just go with Nafisa Collier over 8.5 rebounds. I think that's kind of crazy. She got 12 the last game against the Liberty this season. She's been over this line in 70% of her games this year. Yeah, she had a little bit of a slow turn, but she got back on the slide against Phoenix. I mean, I'm just gonna. I think that this is just too low because she had a little bit of a downturn, but now she had that 14 last game and is back at 8 after missing 4 games. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna take 8.5. So Nafisa Collier over 8.5 rebounds for my dog. Can we get a? Do I go all in? Oh, I should have thought of something else. No.
What, you want Collier double-double or something?
Yeah, I could have done a Collier double-double.
I mean, you could pivot. It's not like you officially locked in your answer. It's fine. You can switch it.
No.
Collier double-double, by the way, is only even money, so that's just not worth it.
Yeah, no, it's not even. No, I would have to do like Collier double-double and a win. So let's go with. Do I just trust Sabrina and say she scores against anybody right now?
Unless you want
Or
her
do I
points
get a jump on McBride?
You can take her points and assists if you want to cover yourself if Sabrina goes nuts in either way. She's been very good at facilitating recently. So
I'm just going to take Minnesota. It's plus 180. I'm just going to take Minnesota. Win the game. Go win the game. Because ultimately, I just keep selling on myself that this Minnesota team is a veteran team and they've already beaten this Liberty team. And I think while that this is a Liberty spot for revenge, I just think that Minnesota defensively is going to give them some problems that the Liberty doesn't have the depth, to even, because are we getting a completely conditioned Courtney Vandersloot if she plays? Are we getting a whole Benaj Delaney Hamilton if she plays? If they don't play, then that just goes even more into me saying that this Liberty team doesn't have depth, and I think that's really going to hurt them, especially against major competition. I would have felt a lot better about this in Barclays, but now you're telling me that you added in an extra wrinkle of the gym. Yeah, I'll just take the Lynx plus 180 on the money line. That's my dog.
All right. So for my lock, I think I am going to go back to the first quarter play. I am going to go with Jonquel first quarter points under 4.5. Even though she's been very good recently, the first quarter points have not really been there. She's gone under this number in 6 of the last 9 games, had less than 5 in 3 of the last 4. You're also looking at the numbers against the Lynx. I mentioned them before. She has had less than 3 first quarter points in 4 straight meetings against the Lynx, and her number's at 5. So I think that 4.5 is too high. I like the under at minus 108 as my lock. Bit of a niche play, but I like the angle, and foul trouble is always a concern anytime she plays against the Lynx. Lynx just always seem to game plan well for Jonquel. I don't know what it is, but it seems like they usually have a good game plan for her, and I think they'll be able to stop her early in this game as well. For my dog, this is kind of the tricky part, because I thought about going for maybe the Lynx parlayed with the under, but I'm trying to think if there's anything I would rather have, something like plus money. Because I think Stewie assists is actually worth consideration in this one at 3.5, but I don't think I can take an alt line on that. because I'd want 5, but I think 5 is going to be not big of a price for me to actually count it as a dog. Let me quickly see, because I know Bet365 doesn't just have milestones; they also sometimes go up one by one. So I need to see if they have Brianna 4.5 assists, because I know that FanDuel's going to have 6. I don't want 6 though; I want 5 plus. So let me just see if I can find that. But I mean, she had 5 in the first meeting. So once again, I lost in the John Quell one a couple days ago because they only went by milestone, and I ended up going with 6 instead of 5. So let me just see what I can get from Sabrina. Do they have 5? They do. Okay, Brianna 5 assists is plus 165. That's my dog. So once again, my lock's going to be on John Quell first quarter points under 4.5 at minus 108. My dog will be Brianna over 4.5 assists at plus 165.
All right. There we go. I like it. I love it. Scott, underdog. Let me see. Let's fire up underdog.
Well, Collier
Fantasy.
rebounds, I know we both like. So I'm fine with the Collier rebounds there.
Okay.
Do you want to just run back
Higher.
the
9 rebounds.
kind of? I wish it was at 8.5, but 9's fine.
We have, I see John Quell 4 first quarter points. If you want to play that, and what else do we want to run?
You want to go Stewie assists? Regular
Yeah.
3.5?
Let's see. Let's make sure that they got it. Oh, no.
How do you not have a Brianna stored prop? I mean, come on. Really?
They got rebounds and
MVP?
assists, points. They even got first half points, rebounds, and assists. Like they have a whole bunch of stuff. They just said, "Nah, assists is too much, bro."
That's a bunch of garbage. Okay. Yeah. Any pivots you want to go with? You
We
want to
got
go
John
with?
Quell. So I added the John Quell lower 4 first quarter points.
I wanted 4.5 though, because 4 is just 2 layups. That sucks.
See. All right, yeah. They're trying to get
Well, you
forced to
mentioned you
push.
mentioned Courtney. Do they have Courtney props or
Yeah,
Courtney
they
ones?
got
I mean,
4.5 rebounds. I would play I don't really trust this. It's 2, 4.5.
do they have an RA?
Yeah, they got 10 rebounds and assists. Let's look and see what she's done with that before we commit all the way. All right. Let's see here. For RA at 10, she has been over in 3 of the last 5 and 50% this year. And in the first game against, no, she missed the first game. I lied. She didn't get it.
Okay.
She had 9. She had 9 in that first game. Nah, screw it. I'm still with it. Come on. She's been over in 50% of the games this year, 3 of the last 5. Like, I like seeing, yeah.
All right, let's do
Courtney
it.
Williams. RA over 10. She's going to get 5 rebounds and 5 assists rather easily. And then we're going to be waiting on 1 for an entire quarter.
Okay, so what's the injury again for now?
So right now we have Collier rebounds. We have Courtney Williams rebounds and assists.
Okay.
We can. I think you should go all in on the John Quell under.
We can take it at 4. It's fine. We'll go lower on the 4.
Oh, I was going to say just go for the full game.
Oh. Oh, what's her number at for the full game?
I mean, you can do 16 points, 28 and a half points, rebounds, and assists. Let's see.
Now, John Quell's been doing really well full game, though. It's mostly just her being a slow starter. She has had less than 15 points in back-to-back games, though. All right, you know what? Sure. Let's go John Quell lower 16.5 points.
I think she's gonna struggle. I think they have a good interior defense, and it's
So
not
do I.
going to be easy like it's been recently for her.
Yeah.
I think that's a good play. All right. Jonquel Jones, lower, 16.5 points. Courtney Williams, higher, 10 rebounds and assists. Nafisa Collier, higher, 9 rebounds. And then underdog, you're going to get a 6x payout on your entries. $10 gets you $60, so on and so forth. And make sure you use that promo code NBA SGPN. NBA SGPN. So here's a parlay for you. Take the Lynx plus 5.5. Take the under 162.5.
You found a 62.5?
And yeah,
Which book is the 62.5?
FanDuel.
Okay.
And let's get somebody's points in there. That's really gonna juice the parlay if we take somebody's points. Collier could. Do we just trust Collier? It's your best player. I'm fine trusting the best player. Collier over 20.5 points. Plus 550.
All right.
I'll take it. Take it to bank. All right. Scott. Anything else for people before we get up out of here?
Yes. A reminder for the actual WNBA schedule, in addition to not having any games on Monday, the day before the Commissioner's Cup, there are also no games on Wednesday. So just keep that in mind. We're going Commissioner's Cup tomorrow, day off Wednesday, WNBA resumes on Thursday. That's the schedule. So we'll probably be back Wednesday night.
Yep. Yes, still like Collier at 9.5. Still think it's good. I think she's gonna get well in double digits. All right. Well, we got a bunch of people here. Hey, hi guys, how you doing? Make sure you go like the video before you get up out of here. And for let's see, podcast listeners, yes, 5-star rating and review. Definitely. If you're not a podcast listener, you should be a podcast listener. And if you're not a YouTube listener, you should be a YouTube listener. You should have it on both. Honestly, truly, it would help us. So just go ahead and make sure you're a podcast listener and a YouTube listener, or you're just one and you're signed up on both. Other than that, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, come on, guys. I'm 80% of my locks. Scott is 60% of his locks. Like, I'm just trying to tell you that this is where you need to be. This is where you need to be. Listening to the show right here. All right. Scott. Yeah, that's it. I have nothing else to say. Nothing else to do. No other way of ending the podcast. Just going to end it like this. We are out of here.